Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I am Godless Reggie. This is NJ. How are you today, NJ?
Hey, Godless Reggie, I am doing fabulous. We are here to talk about this wonderful, yet another religion that you have found. And oh boy, Oh, just so you know where my head
Good. I'm glad
is.
that you're going to like it. Well, that you like the title. So
Yes,
today,
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is going to be fun. I also found out how to unmirror my backdrop so that the words make sense when people are looking at it. So I learned something new today, yet again. And just so everybody knows where my head is today, and you're wondering how ridiculous and silly I am going to be, this is where I am. Karma's on break. God's watch is missing. Uh, Ahimsa's billable now. Raven pulled the card. Reggie dragged the divine. Sacred is suffering. Commercialized. Karma's on commercial break. Reparations, sarcasm, ceremonial tips, all can be sent to Rogue Al 333.
so this religion is called Jainism, and that's also today's title. It's a religion that actually I haven't heard about before, but now that I did maybe about 10 seconds of reading of it, like NJ was stating earlier, I kind of do know a little bit about it, but it's because it's been borrowed some of their concepts from a religion that we all know, and really not so much of being borrowed from another religion, but there's a concept that we all say. It's right in NJ's background, karma. So Jainism is the religion that actually introduced that concept to the world. So today we're going to learn about it. I often tell people when I'm debating with them or just speaking about religion, when they say certain things, karma, free will, and things like that, I always remind them that they're taking a different religious concept from somewhere else. And today, this is going to explain it. But even though this is more of a you don't do shit to me, I won't do shit to you type situation, but it still applies.
And yes,
So,
that's exactly what I got out of it. But I got fascinated with, where did I get fascinated? And I haven't looked back since. I think I've got like a week's worth of sarcastic jokes out of. There's something they call the 24 enlightened beings who reboot Dharma in each cosmic cycle. And I've been running with jokes ever since. You're going to get there.
okay. So I do a little bit of reading about it because this is a foreign religion to me. I'm not from that region, obviously, and today is going to be the first day that I'm actually looking into it at all. So I'll pull up Chat GPT and see what we got. I hope I'm actually pronouncing it correct.
Oh, you're going to have a time with the
What's it
pronunciation.
going on? But yeah, no, because it's from India, so I know stumbling through. Right. So Jainism is an ancient Indian religion that emphasizes nonviolence, truth, and non-possessiveness, celibacy, and asceticism. It originated around the 6th century BCE, around the same time as Buddhism, and was revived and systemized by Mahavira, the 24th and the last Tirthankara spiritual teacher in Jain tradition. Its core belief is ahisma, which is nonviolence, the most central principle, not harming any living being, even insects or microorganisms. Now, this one I'm going to be stumbling through definitely is Ani Kentavada, truth and reality are complex and can be seen from multiple viewpoints. This next one as well, Garaha, renunciation of material possessions and desires to achieve liberation. The five major vows, these are taken by monks and nuns, while lay persons follow them in less strict forms. Ahimsa, which is nonviolence. The Satya, which is truthfulness. Asteya, which is not stealing. Brahmacharya, celibacy. And Aparigraha, which is non-attachment. I'm gonna stop right there. Um, get my breath together because, like NJ stated beforehand, those are some pretty tough words to say. I don't have that particular type of tongue,
Right.
but
And unless you're from
one
that
thing that I
area of the
did
country.
see, I could definitely see the similarities to other stuff.
No, I was just going to
Right,
say, unless you're from that section of the country,
right.
of the planet, you shouldn't have a tongue to say those words. You shouldn't. I don't know why people be like, if you can read, you can say the word. No, they have the characters have different sounds in different languages. If you're only taught one sound group, one language, you're not going to get it. It's a pet peeve of mine.
So, one strange thing to me so far is the five major vows. So, number four, the Brahma Shiraya. That's strange to me for two reasons, right? Because I could see Brahmin in that word. I know that word has to originate from Brahmin. It has to, which is celibacy. I mean, I don't see how that could be conducive to making life go on. So I don't really see the benefit of that, even from a humanitarian standpoint. I can understand people like, oh yeah, you probably don't like that one because it means not to have sex. Okay, but if everybody follows that shit, human life is gonna end. So I mean, at some point, that don't make no sense. And to me, that's where it's gonna be, right there.
You have to remember a lot of these religions was made up later in people's later lives. Like they had already lived their life, done what they wanted to do, and they had nothing to do but sit around and write down what had worked for them. And then the next generation comes along and picks up the notebook and goes, you know what? That might work for me too. And like you said, eventually you find a population has dwindled. Oh shit. And what you might end up doing is saying, hey, next time you come through here to trade goods, could you bring some women? We seem to have run out.
That doesn't make any sense. I can see why it's not the preferred religion in that area, probably for that reason. But the similarities so far are clear. I kind of noticed it when I was stumbling through the words. It reminded me, like this feels familiar. And the last time we discussed a religion from that region, I was having the same exact difficulty saying not the same words, but similar. So, that kind of reminded me that all religions, take what they like from surrounding areas. Like, oh, all that shit's bullshit, but that one piece never get that, and so on and so forth. So it's just a friendly reminder, in my opinion.
Right. And I don't I don't understand religion's need for being in people's sex lives. I don't understand how any religion anywhere formed around human sex. It's like the zoos. I'm not a big fan of zoos, but if you go to the zoo and you're looking at the animals, would they be doing the same exact thing in their own natural habitat had they never met a human, been around a human, been hunted by a human, fed by a human? Like The veterinarians don't even like let them have their offspring normal. It's a breeding experiment from zoo to zoo to zoo to zoo to zoo to zoo to zoo. And that's kind of how I'm starting to think of the United States. It's just a big old giant breeding farm. But I'll get off that topic.
It always has been. There's always been aspects in this country where they have breeding farms. They always have. I mean, no, I take that back. Maybe not always have, but I would say from the beginning of the inception of this country, they had them then. There may have been 100, 200 year time frame where they didn't. Oh, but they got them now. They're systematically doing it, right? They're systematically doing it by making it illegal to have abortions, right? What they're trying to do is keep. I think they're seeing the trend, how educated women are getting, right? That's why they use the term feminism, right? Oh, this feminist movement is hurting, da 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 da. And being a Christian or being a believer, you kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. But now that I'm on the outside looking in, how can I naturally have a issue with a person that's a feminist? That doesn't make sense. Because what a person that is a feminist is doing is essentially sticking up for what they are, what they believe, and their rights. Sounds like the same shit that I'm doing, right? So the only way that you're gonna have a problem with somebody doing that is if you're trying to control them, right? It's just a shame that nowadays a lot of men cannot talk a woman out their drawers no more. They literally have to make rules to get what they want. That's
You
sad.
know, it's almost
That's
like
pathetic.
Americans want to bring back the good old days where they just did mail order brides. Everybody likes to forget that the United States men weren't men. Men didn't like conquer women, fall in love, date, and all of that. They they basically bought women unseen. It was like, hey, I need a wife. Could you send one? They could send a list of what they preferred, but when they got to the train station, whatever was there was there. It's yours now.
See,
Yes, for real, for real. It was really Timu for marriage, and a lot of them. And I'm not gonna say this didn't happen, and it wasn't a lot of them, but sometimes when they got what was delivered home, they found out long lost secrets that nobody but the doctor and their mama knew when they changed their diaper. And if they haven't had their diaper changed since they was 13, nobody knew what was going on in their drawers. Nobody knew. And
that
then
sounds like
those are the
another story I'm
stories.
telling people.
Yeah, and those are the stories that you heard. Those are the,
Right.
uh, tried to pass themselves off on me. No, they didn't. You ordered for a service. You got the package. You didn't like it. You could have simply returned it. You didn't have to lose your damn mind and kill it.
That happens a lot though. Maybe not with the marriage thing, but a lot of times, people go getting themselves into something that no one's getting into, and they see something they don't like, and then they just figure like, oh, well, it's two dicks in one in this bed. One of us gotta die. Boop. So it's just crazy. But again, um, it's just a way of regulating people to make the population explode. Well, not explode, but to keep it going. Because at the same time, they're contradicting themselves by trying to deport people. Okay? I tell anybody that's a citizen here, or that's not even a citizen here, if you have only been on the East Coast your whole life, you don't know shit. You don't know shit. I'm telling you. If you go past just Texas on, it's empty. It's empty as fuck. New Mexico is bigger than any fucking state on the East Coast. It is. And you can name several cities that have way more people than the whole state of New Mexico. Way more. Way more. New York got way more. New York City has way more people in that city than Nevada has. I mean, excuse me, than New Mexico has in the whole state.
And what I don't understand is in the day and age of better transportation and the internet, why everybody thinks you still have to go get your start in big, huge cities, New York, Miami, Atlanta, LA. Like that's the part that's getting me.
So, for foreigners or Americans?
Both have the mindset stuck in their minds. Have conversations with just anybody, foreigners or non-foreigners, and ask them what their idea of um, getting their break or their idea of how education should work. And you will find some very, very old, closed minds in 20-year-old bodies. Does that make sense the way I worded it?
I mean, I can answer your question about people that are foreigners. It's the same logic and the same ideas that we have, just the other way around. Like, there's people like, I'll speak about, I'll say something my mom said before, right? Oh, she was like, oh, Africa's just so dry. You don't think that Africa, at worst case scenario, has the second most rainforest? I'm going to say probably the most. But you don't think that? Because we see shit on TV. We see dumb ass shit on TV. They showing certain areas that just are dry, right? They just showing fucked up areas that have been stripped of everything. So we believe in our mind. That's what all of Africa looks like. We believe in our mind all Africans are dark skinned. We believe in our mind don't none of them got no damn hair. We believe this, right? So you got to think about it when it's the other way around. When okay, let's think of people from a black nation. You pick them, Nigerians, Jamaicans, you name them, right? Okay, so when they cut on the TV and they see black people on TV, more than likely they're gonna be Americans, right? Then you got to think about where these people are from. You watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, feel me? Watching shit like that. You see all these American dream stories. You see all these movies in LA. You see all these movies in New York. You see all these movies in Miami. That's all the fuck they know. That's all they know. When you go to a different country, especially Caribbean countries, the first thing they're gonna say out your mouth is where you from, New York. That's all they know. They don't know shit else. Nothing. Nothing. Ohio, what the fuck is that? Pennsylvania, never heard of it. You ever heard of Philadelphia? Yeah. They don't know. So
They don't, and that's why that question used to get on my nerves. Where are you from? Why do you want to know? Because you don't know anything about the country, the states, or the people. So why are you making idle chit chat with location? You don't know the location. Stop doing that. Find a different way to break the ice. And I need to know what country that is, madam. I need to know what country that is because I enjoy skiing. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I know to not ski near trees. After what happened to Sonny Bono, I know not to ski near trees. I'm not good enough to avoid killing myself running into a tree.
it's the country that's inside of South Africa. I think it's called Lesotho. Lesotho. It's
Oh,
literally
okay. I know
inside of
that
South
one.
Africa. It's a small country, and it's primarily mountains and snow all year long. When I seen that shit, I'm like, so that's another thing. We think that, like, to Ouija 666 point, we think all of Africa's hot as fuck all year long, not realizing more than half of it, well, maybe not, but close to half of it is south of the equator. It got to be kind of cold in South Africa.
Yeah, I was.
Maybe not
I
like cold like
And they made me do weather when I was a kid in school for some project or something, and I was like, oh, oh, well, that kills that. So I was like, mental note in future when making travel plans, make sure that I don't go during the snow season. Don't go during the snow season. But for skiing, I'll go during the snow season. But back to this thing,
I think the
this
older I get, like,
Jainism.
oh, all right. So there's a couple other things that I'm gonna read about here on ChatGPT about Jainism. So the Tirthankaras, Jains believe in a line of 24 enlightened teachers. Hold on, change this person. The first Tirthankara is the Rishabhanatha. The second one is the Meherbara, the 24th and last Tirthankara, contemporary of the Buddha. Their sacred texts are the Argamas, the canonical scriptures, various commentaries, and philosophical works also play a major role. The sects in Jainism, which I wasn't aware of them, are the Digambara, the skyclad monks do not wear clothes, believe women must be reborn as men to achieve liberation. Savetambara, the white clad monks and nuns wear white robes. Women can achieve liberation directly. Key practices: daily meditation and prayer, fasting and dietary restriction. They're strictly vegetarian. The Parishana, major festivals are fasting, reflection, and forgiveness. The Salakana, a voluntary and peaceful death through fasting. Ooh, that is crazy. Undertaken under strict ethical guidelines. The goal of Jainism, liberation, which is muksa, from the cycle of birth and death, samsara, through self-discipline, nonviolence, and self-realization. I'll stop right there because that's the end of it anyway. But I definitely wasn't feeling um, the peaceful death by starvation. There's nothing peaceful about that shit. I mean, I'm not starving myself to go to no fucking heaven or wherever the fuck they talk about. I think that's completely ludicrous, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But especially in India, there's whole monuments filled with individuals who literally sat there and starved themselves to death. And the body is still there, sitting in, the legs crossed, hands in lap. And they are still taking food to the dead, mummified body sitting there on the rock in the niche. Still, to this day.
But why? He didn't want it when he was alive.
That's exactly my thought process. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Man, that shit's stupid. Starving yourself. Another part I did not like is where it said, believe women must be reborn as men to achieve liberation. What the fuck does that mean? How do you do that? How the fuck do you grow a dick overnight? But you went to sleep and it's just there? How do you do that? Now, I mean, I guess, I mean, if it's the other way around, you gotta cut your shit off. You can do that or whatever. But how do you do that?
I think they said reborn. So I think they're saying that like once you die and come back, you have to come. If you were a woman, you should come back as a man. But I don't believe in that, so I don't know how to take that. I really don't. Because you said reborn.
I don't know though, because I'm thinking in Christian terms. I don't know if that shit mean getting some water real quick, or what.
You know
I
what?
don't
You
know.
have a good point. You have a good point. I forgot that they are reborn after they dip their head below water. I forgot that they are reborn with what I would call a bath, but they don't involve soap.
Damn sure does. But that's a different topic for another day. But yeah, that I ain't like that at all. But I'm gonna find me a video. Boy, I got one. I'll read more
Ouija
about it.
666.
But
I'm trying to fatten up. I'm trying to get there. But my daughter has decided that she wants to be fitter. So the pickings of junk food has gone down drastically.
I be creeping it in here and there, but I be blaming it on the weed though. Because sometimes I don't be wanting shit but that.
For
Something.
some reason, the last few days since that last moon, my appetite has been abysmal. My daughter keeps putting the food in front of me, and I keep wrapping the plate up and sticking it in the fridge or tossing it outside for the critters. I'm so wasteful. She gonna kill me. Oh, dang! Did I say that online?
This is what you talking about.
Other one. This time we're going to hit you up with some Jainism. You're going to want to know something about that. All right, so why don't you get for the learning and go get her done right now. You want to talk about old? How about 5,000 years, guys? Jainism is going to grow up alongside of Hinduism in India from around 5,000 years ago, 3000 BCE. It's not only one of the oldest religions in the world, it's considered to be one of the oldest philosophies in the world. Many people even consider it to be a form of atheism. Now, Jainists, their knowledge, their belief system comes from 24 great teachers that were called Tirthankaras. And these were people that had already freed their souls from their body, possessing all knowledge of the universe, and then came back to teach other people. Jainists believe in no God. There is no creator. There is no deity that started it all. Jainists would say, where does matter come from? It comes from nowhere. It's always been. So you can't have a period before there was matter, where there was a God, which didn't exist because there was no matter that created that matter that didn't exist. Jainists would say, where does the perfect God's intention come from to create a universe? If he's so perfect, why is there a need to create a universe in the first place? A Jainist would say there is no God. There are only souls. There's only matter. There's only the universe, all eternal. And we need to learn how to play by the rules. There is only, according to Jainists, the universe that is all eternal. They also believe that Jainism has been around forever, that it is eternal as well. And they divide the universe basically into two different, you want to call them substances. We'll call one jiva, soul.
Can pink salt really help you slim down while you sleep? I
Sorry.
tried it, and here's what happened.
Soul, the eternal life force. And they believe that our souls and the souls of animals and plants and every living being is eternal as well, that it's always existed. Nobody created the soul. They also believe that there is something called a jiva, which is basically matter and time and space. And they believe, Jainists do, that just like there's laws of the universe when it comes to matter, time, and space, there are laws of the universe that apply to our souls. These are inescapable. There is no God that is going to save you from these natural laws that we're going to call, and they're going to call karma. There is only your soul and the karma that attaches itself to your soul. So the ultimate purpose in Jainism is to cleanse your soul so clean that you can achieve nirvana and escape the cycle of nation and coming back. The one to achieve the universe symbol of Jainism, which is right there. And now we can get to the swastika. So this is the official symbol called Jain Pratikshina, and it represents basically everything that they believe in. We'll start with the outline itself, which they believe is the outline of the universe. The concept is that we're trapped in this universe, the tippy top of there, where is moksha, where you are now a perfect soul that doesn't need to keep coming back in this cycle of reincarnation. Now, the swastika specifically refers to two different areas, and swastika is a Sanskrit word that means good fortune. The Nazis messed that all up. But if you go to any in Jainism or any book of Jainism, you're going to run to this. One of the concepts that each swastika represents a different They don't believe in a God, but they do believe that if you can elevate your soul, rid you of karma, that you can come back a deity as a God yourself before you achieve perfect moksha. Now, they also believe you can come back as a human or an animal. They believe you can come back.
So pause it right there for a second. He's saying a whole lot. Some of what he's saying is what I read. It seems like maybe I didn't go into depth enough, or maybe
You saw that symbol, right? That's where they got that symbol from. That ended up being a hate symbol.
I thought that the symbol originally came from the natives.
Nope. And if anybody
I thought
told you
this
that,
symbol,
they lying. Nope. Nope. That symbol been around, I don't know, since this religion. Since somebody said that that was the only design that they knew how to put on their stuff that labeled it as theirs. This came from here if you see this symbol.
I mean, it's fresh for 4,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago. Ain't gonna lie.
Right, right,
That's
right, right.
dope.
And that's all we do with AI today. We looking for our own branded symbol. And we use AI to do it. Ain't nothing new.
Especially if they had a
Ain't
color.
nothing. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, especially if it had a color to it too. That would definitely.
Right,
High tech shit.
right, right, right. Like I was making that design on my notebook as a first or second grader. And the teacher looked down at my cover one day and was like, "Why'd you draw that symbol?" I shrugged my shoulders because I really didn't know why. I was doodling. I didn't even know what it was, what it meant. And he looked me dead in my eyes and was like, "They wouldn't have liked you either." And I'm looking at second grade. Who's they? What are you talking about? Dude.
Yeah, that's the
So I
beginning
think,
of the brainwashing right there.
yep, 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 yep. So he was really, really mad when I came in class the next day and I had found that symbol and its origins and it was over there in another country and said, "Why would they hate me? That's not who I was talking about." Well, then who was you talking about? Because you said they. Needless to say, I did not attend the same school the next school year. I was in a new school.
I think I'm gonna make that a. I don't know how I'm gonna word it because you can't really say that word, but I really want to know. Well, besides what you just said, because that's part of the condition. But I never understood why black people have such a problem with Hitler. I'm not saying what he did was right. It was terrible.
No,
But but
but the symbol doesn't belong to what he did. It
I
doesn't
mean,
belong to them. You can't get
doesn't
mad at the symbol for what the human did and how you associate the human with the symbol. You can't get mad at the symbol. You won't get mad at the people because a lot of them people that were involved in that whole Holocaust fiasco through South America came right here to the United States with the United States blessing because they wanted the money from the data and science that they were working on. And that went for Russian and German, not just German, Russian and German.
but what I'm saying is this: that does not none of that don't got nothing. It has nothing to do with this. There's a part two to that question. I mean, I know both the answers why, but it has nothing to do with us. And what does have something to do with us, King Leopold, because a lot of us came over here by way of the Congo River, right? Most black people don't even know who that is. You
They
ask them,
don't?
like, no, if listen, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take a poll, And I'm just gonna walk up to 10 random black people, just 10, and I'm gonna ask them, "Do you know who King Leopold is?" And I'll bet you anything you wanna bet, at least 6 of them. No. And I say that maybe 2 of the 6, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I heard that name before." Then when I ask them, like, "What's he known for?" They're not gonna be able to tell. They're not.
They don't know
That's
what
not
he's
nothing
known
that
for.
is taught in school here. No, I didn't even know who the fuck he was. I'm 43. I didn't know that motherfucker who he was until I was at least 34. Yeah. Never heard.
Okay.
Never seen the rubber mines. Never seen. Well, I did see the kids with the short arms. I did not have no idea where that came from. Yeah, I didn't know that. Why would they teach you that? Why would they? They gonna teach you
I
about
mean,
Alexander the
even
Great.
if they didn't want to teach it,
They
it
can
should
teach
have
you
come
the
up
story
in
for them people.
something. Well, anyway, okay. Okay. So I don't know where you're getting ready to take this, but I'm getting ready to do a commercial break because I heard the sweet, sweet tap, tap, taps downstairs, and I'm going to go be nutritionally sound and get some broccoli in my system. But before I do, what Raven has learned from the first video has brought about this commercial break. Raven's commercial break: soul versus stuff. Welcome to the eternal glitch. Jiva and Ajiva. Jiva is the soul, pure, conscious, eternal. Ajiva, everything else. Matter, time, karma, your unpaid bills. The problem? They're stuck in a toxic situationship. Jiva wants liberation. Ajiva keeps texting. Religion says just meditate and detach. Raven says soul's been ghosted by matter since the beginning of time. So if you're feeling heavy, it's not depression, it's karmic residue. Tip the soul. Unsubscribe from Ajiva. Cash at Rogue Al 333 because even eternal beings deserve reparations. And on that note, I'm gonna go find me some broccoli. But I'm paying attention. I can hear.
I'm learning. I just got to the point where I know how to make the microphone work. So I feel like I'm off to a positive note. But again, some of the values of Jainism I like the beginning of the readings, you know, but towards the end, I didn't like what I was seeing because I don't feel like a person has to be reborn to be on equal playing fields with a man, especially when you, as a man or a woman, came out of it. So I don't feel like nobody should have to do all that, especially when, man just get his from birth. You know what I mean? That's not fair, and that just lets me know that's just another religion that a man literally wrote, right? So I'm gonna get back to the video and play the rest of it. It's like halfway done now. This is a terrible view of him, by the way.
All of these provide your soul opportunity to achieve moksha. Now, it also represents the 4 different infinite aspects of the soul, which Jainists believe are infinite knowledge, that the soul has infinite perception, the soul has infinite happiness, and infinite energy. Now, above the swastika, you have 3 dots, which represents basically the straight path for Jainists to achieve moksha. This would be belief, knowledge, and conduct. Now, the actual universe is kind of separated into 3 spheres. And we have on that top here sort of the heavenly section, the midsection for humans and animals, and then hellish beings would go down below. The last symbol.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name.
The last symbol is going to be the hand with the wheel. This is ahimsa, which means non-injury. And this is basically the concept that if you want to stop coming back, you have to not hurt other souls. And this would be to stop what's called samsara, which is this repetitive cycle of coming back. Now, the spokes on the wheel represent the 24 great teachers themselves. And then there's actual a motto that goes along with all of this symbology, which is basically that all life is bound together by mutual support and interdependence. So the ultimate goal is to achieve moksha. And now you want to know how to do that. Well, the Jainas, they have 5 vows that are going to get you there. So because there is no God concept, there's no deity to pray to save you, to ask for forgiveness. You're all alone in the universe. Your soul's job is your soul's job and nobody else's. No other soul and no other deity. Certainly other souls can help you, but you got to save yourself. And to save yourself, you have to follow the 5 vows. Now, monks are going to take this and nuns very seriously, but the common practitioners, the 10 million people that follow Jainism, do it to the best of their abilities to cleanse their soul of karma so they can achieve moksha. Keep saying that, right? Well, the number 1 vow you've already been introduced to, and this would be from that hand wheel, which is ahimsa. This means no violence. And the monks will go as far as doing everything possible in order to practice a life of non-injury to other creatures, which means that they will walk barefoot with a broom and sweep out insects in order not to cause harm to those insects. They'll also cover their mouth, be bringing in any type of insects as well. Now, all Jainas are vegetarians because they believe that it creates injury to the animal when you decide to eat meat, that you're part of that process. Many are vegan, believe that the milk creates injury. Well, some go as far as eating root vegetables say, well, that's silly. How can you get through life not hurting an ant? And what the Jainas would say, it's not the actual act of stepping on the ant. That's not what creates the karmic matter to attach itself to your soul. It's the passion that you make the decision to step on the ant. That's what karmic matter attaching it to your soul. So the idea is that he who has passion causes injury to himself by himself, whether or not you hurt someone or you don't hurt somebody. So if they also believe in many of the other concepts that you would find like in the 10 Commandments. There's a vow of not lying, satya. There is a vow of not stealing, asyaya. There's a vow of chastity. Now, of course, a regular practitioner is going to be able to have a sexual life, but not be a slave to sexual passion. And of course, monks and nuns are going to take a vow of celibacy. They're not anywhere near that. How about that? And then the last vow is non-possessiveness, that we need to live a life where we are not attached to matter, to objects, that our goal is to live where karma and free our souls of this repetitive pattern of reincarnation so we can achieve moksha. Don't you want some moksha in your life? Now, in Sanskrit, Jainism literally means conquer. Your job on earth as a soul is to conquer attachment, desire, ego, greed, anger. That's the way to salvation. Now, of course, like all other religions, Jainists are going to have festivals and pilgrimages. They're going to have meditation and prayer and fasting, all of the other good stuff. But the main difference is they're not doing all of that to pay homage or ask for forgiveness from a deity. They're doing it in order for their soul to cleanse karma so it can gain more perception into infinite knowledge and live a better life so that soul can free itself. That's the idea. And I hope that your brain's a whole lot bigger than when you start Gideon. So Gideon, I say with all of my heart, attention.
I think he gave a pretty good explanation, especially on that last part that I played. He wrapped it up. I like when people are efficient, so I'll definitely give him that. Jainism does have some strong points. I like how you try your best not to take anything else's life. Maybe they go a little bit too far. Maybe I feel like that because I'm American. I don't know. How you feel?
I feel like I have a rhyme for that. In Jainism, liberation isn't mood, it's method. You need the vow belief, the map knowledge, the walk conduct. Belief says, I see the path. Knowledge says, I know the terrain. Conduct says, I'm walking it, even barefoot, over karma shards. But here's the glitch. Most prophets sell the map, preach the vow, and outsource the walk. My remix: if your conduct that doesn't match your caption, your karma's still clocked in. Tip the vow, archive the map, walk the glitch. And I'm gonna just leave that there. Cause um that's all that needs to be said.
Agree. I like how he broke down the last part about how if you were to shoot at somebody and miss, that would be bad karma versus if you accidentally shoot somebody. I mean, but a lot of that though is common fucking sense. No matter what religious belief you have, that
You
is
know, that's what I
punishable.
don't like about America. Even if someone deserves to be shot, you have to go to jail. And if you accidentally shoot, you deserve to go to jail. I read a story about a woman who shot the gun in the air, still got time. We don't
Depending
make
on
no
the
sense.
law, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like I don't see how you can take a person's right away to bear arms, and the reason why is because it's in our Constitution. I don't see how you can do that.
Me either. Me either.
I know
Me
the
either.
justification, but it's not warranted because once you become a felon, you lose certain constitutional rights. But that's not fair. There's nowhere in there that it says that you can lose them. Don't
No
say that.
matter, no matter what you did, if you did what the court said, if the court said you have to go to jail for this many years, and you did that, and upon your release, you are again about the world. Nobody should be able to ask you about it. Nobody should be able to deny you services for it. You did your time. Now, if you still walking around ducking and dodging from some past crimes and you ain't never did your time because you were sentenced and you were like, I'm out of here before the day you were supposed to go in. Okay, I can see that. I can see, why they would not be allowed to use their name and social security number to get a job, travel, firearms, yada yada yada. I get that. But I see citizens of the Corporation of America that has like 5 passports. And if they get in trouble with the courts, they only have to turn in the passport that belongs to America. The other 4 passports they're allowed to keep and use.
Some bullshit.
It is.
Basically, what that means is they're playing favoritism to people that's from other countries. That's what it sounds like to me. But I do know about the job process. That is an insurance thing, right? Because any job that you work for, you have to be insured. So the reason why some jobs won't hire felons is because the insurance company is refusing to insure them. And to show you what I'm talking about, that's why when you fill out job applications, that's why I asked you, are you bondable? Because it's saying if in the event that the insurance company will not cover you, can you get a bond? And in my state, I think it's like $5,000 or some shit.
First, I had no idea it had to do with the insurance company. And thank you for reminding me that I don't like insurance companies and I would like all of them to burn right along with the banks.
I don't like them either because they control too much shit. I mean, I like one thing that they did because, truthfully, in in England, they're the reason why slavery was banned. You know about
Right.
that?
Yeah. I know that
So
one well. I know that one well.
I like that part, but the rest of it, it's not fair. It's not fair to shit. They literally can break the law. It's like they are the law.
It's not
So
like they are the law. They are the law. Like you said, it's not that the employer doesn't want to employ you, but their insurance premium says that they cannot. And there's a whole lot of other things that insurance is involved in that keeps people from living their lives. And for some reason, insurance companies keep lobbying government entities to put into law that their insurance is required by law. And that's where they lost me at. I've been ducking and dodging them ever since. How you gonna put on the books that I have to pay you to provide me with something I was never using in the first place?
Right. Exactly. It's not fair, nor is it right. So I understand it, but when I found that out, it was crazy to me. And then it's like I thought, damn, I should have always known. Because why is that on the application? It's a fuck bondable. Who cares? And that's the reason. Like, that shit is crazy. I think it took me a long time to realize it. Probably because I was probably at the low end, on the bottom of the totem pole at most jobs I worked at. Once I kind of got management or above, and I started looking into things, being nosy and snooping around and shit like that.
I feel sorry for any job that ever let me get past my 90 days. I was in everything. And don't let me get to a screen that I wasn't allowed in. What? What? I'm going to my boss. 5 minutes later, I had come up with an excuse on why I need access to those screens for the job that I'm doing at the pay rate that I am. Oh, and if I can't get into it at the job that I'm doing and the pay rate that I am, where do I have to apply? Because I want that job. Oh, they couldn't stand me. I was a pain in the ass.
I think that instead of this being a separate religion, I think this should be labeled as a sect of Hinduism. That's what I mean, I don't make
Actually,
rules.
actually, that's exactly what it is. I don't care how the we all know that the scholars often get it wrong, especially if they don't look like the people of the region. So if you ask me, that's all this is a set of Hinduism. It just
Right.
is.
I think the only fundamental difference is the way the man explained it. They don't really quote unquote believe in a creator or whatever. But everything else correlates. Their beliefs are the same. Probably more of a tribal situation. I don't know. I'm not really going to dwell on it and dig into it too much because again, it's not really nothing that considered at this point. I do like the fact that they came up with the karma shit, so they give that to the world. Um, and there it is. You have any final thoughts on it?
No, no. Any final thoughts would be dripping in sarcasm, dripping in it.
Mine would be just a sect of Hinduism. It does have its strong points that I've mentioned several times. Overall, um, it's still very misogynistic, especially when a woman has to be reborn. If I was to divulge any more of my thought process into this religion, it would be about that point. We need to figure out how the fuck a woman could be reborn as a damn man. I really
Right,
involved.
right.
I
Now
really
that would be fascinating. I mean, if you decide to come back for a part two, can we just figure out that how does a woman be reborn as a man? That's it. That's the only fragment we need to discuss.
you know what, I'm gonna just Google it real quick. Just to go.
Grandson, how does a woman be reborn as a man?
I really do not know.
You don't know either?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. I have no idea.
So this is what it says. It says women must gain karmic merit to be reborn as a man, and only then can they achieve spiritual liberation in Jainism, particularly in the Digan Vara sect of Jainism. However, this view has been historically debated. Jainism and different. It doesn't even. That's not even the answer to the question. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. Clearly, they don't want you to know. So I'm not gonna waste no more brain cells on that. Substance.
You tried. You tried. You put in your best effort. You tried. You did try to find the answer to the question. But we're not going to be like them Christians on TikTok and just keep blathering on and trying to make it a point when we realize it's not real. It's not real.
Right. Because basically, you know what Google just told me?
Well,
just believe. Just believe.
yeah, just believe. Okay. Okay, this is the thought process I was working on while we were going through the video. No harm, all hex. Now, see, if I was one of those people who believed in something like, I don't know, witchcraft, hexing, and all those other things that they bring about, I would say something like, homicide isn't just nonviolence, it's refusal to mirror the harm. It's sacred drag. I said that. It's sacred drag. It won't hit back, but it will hex the logic. You don't need revenge. You need receipts, rituals, and reparations. Uh, we won't harm you, but they will narrate your downfall in, I don't know, something I was supposed to put there as a word, and I haven't thought of it yet. But I'll have it right by the time I put this on TikTok. It's just a thought process that got started. How to hex the stupidity out of the stupid.
So what you got going on the rest of the day?
Absolutely nothing. Grandson is waiting very patiently for me to get done so he can ask me a question and talk to me about a subject. And I ain't not gonna lie, I'm dying of curiosity to see what it is he's questioning today.
I'm probably just gonna finish straightening it up. I'll probably go live later. If they still on Afro's live, that person I told you about that was getting on my fucking nerves, especially if he gets his ass together. I'm about to go on there and tear his ass up real quick.
There's no way that an hour later they are still there, but then again, I just thought about it. Let me be quiet. Yeah, you're right. Let me be quiet. Let me be quiet.
Same question.
Reggie666, thanks for hanging out with Reggie again, and I appreciate your company if no one else does.
Right. I definitely appreciate hers and yours. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I'll be back next week. Want to do Taoism?
Okay.
There it is. We'll do Taoism next week. Maybe we'll be on time. Maybe not. I don't know. But until then, thank you everybody for stopping by. Good night.
You are